What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? Let's talk about it, the problems we face. Let's fight hatred, no time to waste. The mind is naked, we can see it without an X-ray. Life is easy if we work together. We're the keepers, we're the people, we're all equal, filled with purpose. The past has pain, it'll drive you, even make you take aim. But together is where we should aim. Together is where we should. What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do?
Listening to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45, and it's the second round of the MotoGP season. Very excited about that. We're off our first round of Moto America, except for the Superbike. So, looking forward to April. Atlanta is the next round. So, can't wait to be there. The Be Forever Cool podcast is going to be in the building. So, I'm very excited about that. We got World Superbike next week. So a lot of racing coming up. Heck, I'm going to be at the racetrack this weekend as well doing some racing. So I'm excited about that. It's been a while since I've been on the KTM. So definitely looking forward to this weekend coming up. I want to thank all the folks that are subscribing, that are liking, that are following, that are commenting. Really appreciate it. Go to the website. Make sure you can find us on all the platforms. Also, definitely subscribe to the Patreon channel as well. Help support the cause and all that fun stuff, because makes our lives easier when we can do that. I think that's all the PSA I have for tonight. We're going to bring in the guys. Let's bring in TJ. Welcome to the show, man. What's good? How you doing this week?
I'm doing better. The snow is melted up here. Yeah, temperature's getting a little better. It's still cold.
Okay.
But looking forward to my Celtics now. Tatum coming back, and we're second in the East. And while I can't ride, that's what I'm, looking forward to, seeing my Celtics improve. But other than that, a couple of bikes have been out on the streets, and there's still a lot of salt, sand, and potholes. So I'm just waiting for that to pass.
Right. Yeah, man. It's exciting to see Tatum back, because it was it was a struggle. It was a struggle for him, because when you jack yourself up and have to take that much time off, it's not easy sitting on the sidelines rehabbing when you want to get in the game. But overall, as a Celtics fan, it's nice to have the team back, and they seem to be doing fairly well, and so that's good to see. Overall, basketball has been fun to watch, man. So excited! You excited for MotoGP this weekend?
Yeah, of course. Finally get to see some racing back on the track. The season's still fresh, but we got some news to talk about, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
Hopefully we can pull this weekend off. I'm still excited to see I'm in Brazil, so I'll see what we can look forward
Uh,
to.
no doubt, man. Let me keep it moving and get everyone in. What's going on, Lewis, man? How you doing? The real Lewis Ortega, man, the numbers guy. What's good, man?
I'm good. I'm good, man. How you doing today, man? How's everything going?
I don't like all the work I'm doing, man. I gotta say.
Yeah, same here, man. It's when you get a job or you're working for yourself. Everybody thinks, oh, you're gonna have some. Nah, you don't have a lot of time, man. A 30-hour work week becomes a 50-hour work week, becomes a 70-hour work week. Before you know it, it's the next week, and you got to do it all over again. So,
All right. Well, I don't even have days off, so
yeah. Well, we're getting ready now for. I mean, February, March is kind of the beginning of the gauntlet for the motorcycle season. So,
yeah,
we have obviously we got Coda in 2 weeks. Then right after that, we have Road Atlanta, and then right after that, we have a big meeting, and then we have some collabs that we're doing with some people, and then after that, we got another Motor America event, and then after that, and then after that, and that's
yeah.
how it kind of Even this weekend, I was kind of take a little bit of time, and then I found out that AHRMA had an event about 40 minutes from my house here at CMP.
Yeah.
And I saw a couple of my friends posting up that they were there and racing. And I was like, oh, let me take a ride down there and see. And all of a sudden, it went from just taking a ride down there and seeing to people asking me, how do I get a custom suit? Can I get measured? Can you get me a design? Can you work on this? And it's like, wait a second, man. I just came here to watch.
I think I'm here to work, but it is the nature of the beast when you're in it, right? You kind of
Yeah.
you're kind of always working even when you're not working, kind of thing.
All you need is that one guy to be like, hey, I know him. And it's like, oh man, here we go.
Yep, that's it. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you do what you do, man.
Yeah.
Fellas, let's talk about it. Brazil, the second round. We got Coda next week after this, which is pretty wild to see. There's a lot of things been swirling since the last round, but I think the biggest thing is the weather right now, right? I mean, it seems like another 6 days we might wonder if it's we got to build an ark. What's going on with all the rain in Brazil, guys? We'll start with TJ.
I don't know. I don't know if they tested the drains before they signed up for this, but yeah, it seems like it's not good from the pictures that we saw. I mean, I don't know if it's just that one straight, but it looks like a real major flood. And the bike's supposed to be there this weekend, and hopefully they have the equipment to remove all that. And obviously, there's gonna be a lot of sand and dirt and mud, and I don't know if our tires are ready for that condition. So I don't know. See what they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. Like we mentioned, they're by a swamp or something like that. So,
dude, it's been raining for it sounds like since Sunday, if the weather reporter is to be believed. So it is pretty crazy. I'm trying to see if I can find a photo to post so you guys can see it for MotoGP. But Lewis, since I have you, man, and what are your thoughts, man?
I mean, this is kind of always been the problem when you're racing in South America is you're in the Amazon, and I don't know if you heard, but it rains a lot in the Amazon. I don't know if you ever knew that. That's why it's really green there. It's very humid.
Why?
Yeah, it's very humid, and there's a lot of this thing called water, and it falls from the sky, and it tends to flood. And then when you build a racetrack on a swamp, it tends to flood even more. So this is just par for the course, man. It just really sucks because it's an expensive venture to get all of the MotoGP paddock out there, and the GP paddock is already there. They're going to start setting up in about 24 hours if they haven't already started to set up. And hopefully the rain will subside. From what I've heard, they had trucks out there actually siphoning the rain off the tracks where it was flooded and then dumping the water off site. And then they had other trucks out there, they had the blowers blowing the water off the track, trying to get it as dry. The sun broke through a little bit. Then they had other hose trucks out there hosing down the track because now it's just covered in mud. So, I'm just hoping that they can the weather gods will cooperate and they'll be able to get this race off. Because if it's the last thing you want to do is you want to race in like sketchy conditions, wet conditions. And one of the things you don't know about, especially a track that nobody has data on, is even if this track is dry on the surface, there's certain tracks even in the US when you go to them and they look dry, but in the morning they have this dew that comes up right through the track. And there's parts of the track that are moist, even though it hasn't rained.
Right.
And if this track is built in those kind of conditions that they don't have the right drainage, you can go into a corner that looks dry, but in the morning it's actually moist because that's the conditions of the ground there. The water table there actually leaks water up through the track. And now all of a sudden you go into a corner thinking it's dry, but it's actually moist. And the next thing you know, garage sale in turn 12. Let's get out the spare parts. The mechanics are working overnight to try to rebuild bikes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping they can get away with this event without any major issues. But if it gets unsafe, I hope that the riders and Dorna do the right thing and don't let it happen if it's going to put anybody's life at risk.
I agree. I'm trying to share the image. That's going to be downside. I mean, at least it's not like Qatar, who's been pushed back to the end of the season because of the war that's going on in the over Iran, and so that's huge. Just for scheduling, people who've already bought tickets and all this got to be pushed back further. So to have Mother Nature could play a part in this weekend, because it sounds like the authorities want to make it happen, because obviously, as you know, Lewis, no one likes to lose money, right?
Money.
That's the crazy thing. TJ, man, what are you looking to see? This weekend. Once we'll make the assumption, because we got to do a show, that weather is gonna be fine, and in worst case, it might be pretty muddy on Thursday, and in worst case, things may just get pushed back a little bit.
Here's a look at the track right now. That looks great for jet ski, man.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Right, it's pretty wild. So it's not too bad, because if you got rain tires and there's a little bit of line there, they're not gonna be passed. it might get two bikes.
You're not going 3 wide into that corner.
3 wide. Well, and I don't know. Are they breaking to go into turn 1, or are they coming at the start straight?
Well, I think this is pit in on the right hand side here.
Okay.
And this might be like the last turn or something to head down the straight.
Yep.
I think that's where it's located on the track. But at least it's not covering the Red Bull sign, so Red Bull get their money's worth.
Right. And listen, Red Bull, without dirt, I don't know if Red Bull will have its name, so this might be fitting where the sign is right now. So TJ, let's go back to what are your thoughts, man, on what the weekend you expect from the weekend. We would talk about the rumors afterwards and the trades and all this, and Mark 1-year deal or a 2-year deal, or what that means, and blah blah blah, because nobody knows, only Mark knows. But what are you hoping to see this weekend overall, man?
This is where everyone needs to try to get their points and really get their things dialed in, because as the weeks progress, it gets crazy. So looking for see if Pedro Acosta can continue his spree and get back on the podium, possibly get another first place. That's a lot to say, but not a lot, but he could do it. Also, I want to see Bezzecchi get back in his form and stay on top, and I just want to see the top rack get a second race, see if he can do better than he did last time, even though Yamaha is under the weather, basically. But this is a new track where no one has data, so this is an advantage for a lot of riders to at least get some type of points in a sprint or a GP.
Right. No, exactly. It's the same thing. Well, I'll render my opinion after we talk to Lewis. But Lewis, man, yeah, man, what are you hoping to see overall before we go into the individual riders and stuff like that? I would have thought TJ would have been rocking a Yamaha hat or shirt, because I think we all have been knocking Yamaha, and this past week I kind of feel bad. Like we can't write them off completely. I mean, I think we might have oversold the expectation of Top Rock coming into MotoGP for the first time. But what are you looking to see overall this weekend coming up, man? Once the weather clears.
I mean, I think it's going to be a cool weekend because nobody has data on the track. So I think the team that's got their stuff together the best is going to initially have at least the best launching pad, because nobody has a base setting for this weekend. Right. You know anything about GP bikes, every single weekend you have to set them up for every single type of condition. They're constantly changing the rakes, they're constantly changing the swing arm length or the overall wheelbase. They're changing this, they're changing that. They're constantly trying to find tents. But I tell everybody the same thing. Fast guys will go fast anywhere they go quickly.
Yeah.
It won't take a fast guy 7 trips to a track to figure out how to go fast at that track.
Right.
You know, they'll go out, and if you don't think that they're already sitting somewhere and they already don't have a game plan of what gear to be in, going into what corner and where to try to tip in, and don't already have an idea where the line is, what's a fast corner, what's an entry type corner, what's an exit type corner. If you don't think these guys already have that, that's the difference between you and them. These guys aren't going in there, going into turn 1, trying to figure out what gear they need to be in turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3. They already know what gear they're going to want to be in. Right. And then as the weekend goes on, they're going to adjust that based on the speeds that the track allows and so forth and so on. Like there's a whole bunch of things that are happening before they show up. With that said, since there's no data, is this an opportunity for Yamaha to pull one out of the hat? Because everybody's on a level playing field, realistically. You know, if they go in there with the right attitude, if they're able to put things together quickly, you know, can Fabio possibly pull some magic out of his hat and get on the podium? Right. Not even win, just get on the podium. Because at this point, getting on the podium for Yamaha is a win.
Right.
You know, they didn't sniff the top 10 in the first weekend. Like that is an embarrassment beyond an embarrassment.
Yeah, I mean, there is some of that. We'll dive more into Yamaha with TJ as well. You know, like I was saying before you started talking, Lewis, they could steal one, which one would hope, but I think it's safe. Not safe. I don't know if that's possible. I mean, I think it's probably more possible that he can get pole and start, up front. How far back they fall, we'll pull up a layout of the track. I mean, it's going to be hard to look and see how tight turns are from just a layout without actually being there, or have a good video of the track to see if it's a tight enough track that a Yamaha don't need to stretch his legs. Because if he doesn't have to stretch his legs, in the U.S., if he's in Roebelin, great, right? It's a small track. No one's going to be running top of 6, so you don't have to worry about that. But TJ, do you see that? Do you think that Yamaha can finish in the top 10 like Lewis?
Yamaha's going to get that in the front straight.
Or still. But I think I said I would give them that, like Quartararo will pull good. Maybe even Miller too.
I mean, I think the other teams will figure it out as well. So I don't know if there's much of a shot, even though they have a level playing field. But I don't think they would finish in the back, like all 4 of them, the last 4, not scoring any points. I think they have an opportunity to at least 1 or 2 of them be top 15.
Right.
Maybe one of them a top 10 in the sprint, but I think the other bikes will eventually figure it out where they still be on their, under the weather, basically.
Right.
Okay. Can't figure it out.
Okay. All right. I hear that. Let's talk about KTM. We'll talk about Top Rock. I mean, is he getting is it too much to ask for a guy that just came into MotoGP? I mean, we were saying, before he got in there were people saying like, oh, he'll get on the podium, he'll show everybody after the first round. Now he's just kind of like, it's not easy.
Most of those people were Turkish, by the way.
Is that what that was? You know what
It
I
was
mean?
the same.
think
It was the
it's-
same people that tried to tar and feather Bulaga at the last round.
Yeah.
Those are the same guys saying that as soon as he shows up, he's going to dominate MotoGP.
Right.
I think Reese said that too. He's not on it,
Uh,
but
Well,
I
we
think
will
is
we'll be on a little bit.
you never know. Things could change.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I don't know. I don't think.
so is it just is the guy getting too much publicity? I mean, there's good publicity and bad publicity, and either one is good for the business. But like, it's too soon to tell, really, right? I mean, at least after the next 3 rounds, we'll have a better baseline than the first round of where he's at. And since all the guys were around the same pace, you can't really say he's that far off because they all finished around the same position, not position, but yeah, around the same positions.
I think for one, he took his first fall, which is good. Not that you want anyone to fall, but that gives you a better feeling of where your limit is. And I feel like he needs to find a higher limit. Like he needs to feel that limit, you know. But as far as the publicity, I think he's a superstar in his own right, especially coming from a World Superbike. So, like, I mean, you don't want to put him under the radar. You know, he still needs that fuel to keep him going. It's just kind of like just be patient. Like his talents will show eventually, I'm sure. Uh, but yeah, I mean, that was good. I'm glad he took his first fall. That kind of probably helped him out a little bit, even though that whole first weekend went to shit for Yamaha. So we'll see what happens.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, that's a crazy thing, Lewis. Do us as fans just need to just keep off our keyboards a little bit, and let this guy just mature a little bit before we hang him out to pasture?
yeah, because first, right off the bat, you got to give the guy a little slack because he's on a Yamaha, and we know that the bike doesn't have, the capabilities that the other bikes have. If you look where he's riding right where Jack Miller's riding. He's right in that same Jack Miller range, and he's right in that same, Alex Rins range.
Right.
So if you take it, what Alex Rins has accomplished, if you take what Jack Miller's accomplished, and you take what Top Rack is kind of doing, he's still in the learning process. But all those guys are good riders, but they're going to be limited by the bike. And Top Rack, I think more than anybody else, has to adapt his riding style to the bike because these bikes don't work the way World Superbikes work. You're not going into a corner with the back tire 2 feet off the ground and trying to turn it at the last minute. Like that's not the way MotoGP bikes work. Like he's got great balance. He's able to do things on bikes that are amazing. However, these bikes limit you from doing those things. So all the things that made him a great superbike rider don't make him necessarily a great MotoGP bike rider because the MotoGP bike is not going to adapt to his style. He's going to have to adapt to that style. And the fact that he's right there with Miller and Rins shows you, you know what? The dude has talent. The dude does belong here. But he's always going to be limited by what the Yamaha package is because they're all limited by the Yamaha package. When the package gets better and he continues to adapt to the riding style, I think you'll see him start to progress and maybe be, instead of the 4th fastest Yamaha rider, the 3rd fastest Yamaha rider, and hopefully the 2nd fastest Yamaha rider.
Okay.
But the top 4 Yamaha riders are still not going to be in the top 10 on a regular basis. Like that's just not where that package is at right now.
All right. Before we move on, who out of the 4 riders, give us the order. How they finish? Quartararo, Rins, Miller, Top Rack.
Quartararo, Rins, Miller, Top Rack, or Top Rack, Miller. I think those 2 guys are almost interchangeable at this point. And especially at this is a new track.
No.
So being a new track, let's see who adapts faster to a new track. Does Miller do it faster than Top Rack, or does Top Rack do it faster than Miller?
But you think it's factory 1 and 2?
I mean, I think it's factory 1 and 2, regardless, because they're getting all the extra little bits and pieces that the non-factory team doesn't initially get.
Okay. All right. TJ, what are your thoughts, man? What's your order?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was gonna say Fabio definitely. He puts in the most effort and he won't throw it away. Miller have a chance of throwing it away, so I can't put him second. So I gotta say Rins, and then I would say Miller or Top Rack. Right. Gotta say. So.
All right, guys. Out of all the riders in MotoGP right now, I don't know. I'm gonna miss a couple, but Marquez has done it a couple of times, going to new tracks and winning and be the first rider to win it. Bezecchi has done it once. Who else am I missing? Oliveira, but Oliveira's gone. I think Rins has done it once as well. So there's not a lot of riders that have gone into a new a new track is in the first season as one. So who do we think is going to win out of these guys and the whole season, or is it really the top 10 riders from the first round? Do you think these guys who like Bezecchi, like Marquez, like Arins, who have won in the past, going to a new track? You think they got to? Who do you think will win?
I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with Lewis. What he said earlier. I mean, like at this point, you gotta rely on your team. So whoever has the best, you know, camaraderie or setup right now, or like whoever's having the most fun together, like will probably have the best chance,
Okay.
to get a victory. So if somebody's not paying attention or off or a little bit sloppy, it just throws things off when you don't have data. So like whoever's already ready, put together mentally and physically. So I think we'll have the best chance.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. Lewis, man, what are your thoughts? Who you betting on? We're gonna have to pick anyway before the show's over. Our top three. So this is kind of like a warm up.
I mean, the if I had to pick, the easy money is on Marquez, because Marquez still has a almost 40% winning percentage across every time he's thrown his leg over a bike during a race.
Good stuff.
Which is, it's crazy, man, to think that this guy's at 35, 36%. To 38.8%, depending if you add in sprint races.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a guy that, 4 times out of 10 is going to finish on the top step, not just on the podium, but on the top step of the podium. Like that's a stat, man. So, I would have to say, and he's also got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder from what happened in the last round.
Mm-hmm.
He was in contention, and he had the rim tire malfunction, and it wasn't like he wasn't riding to 100%. I know Ducati had some struggles that weekend, but I think between that weekend and now, I think Ducati's been doing a lot of work. They're not sitting on their hands. They're making sure that they come to this event and to Coda all guns blazing.
Right. Yeah, man. Ducati got something to we'll get through them. We'll get through them, but Ducati they got something to figure out. So you're saying you got your money on Mark? I don't know. Is that what you?
Yeah. I got my money on Mark definitely for the sprint. And again, this is weather conditions permitting, and he's not a bad rain rider either. So if it is wet, like he's one of those guys that does know how to ride the hell out of a bike in the rain.
Right.
If it's dry in the sprint, yes, and in the race, yeah, I'll still go with Mark in the race, man. Short and long. I think he can do both. I think he can do a double.
Okay. I agree with you to a degree.
Also, one last stat. On this side of the world, Marquez has an even higher winning percentage.
Yeah, I can see that. So, since we're talking about Marquez and Ducati, let's go into that. Let's talk about the factory guys, the guys on the factory bikes, the guys on the 24 bike, which it sounds like it's Furman and Morbidelli. This is Morbidelli's home. So it's another home Grand Prix for the Brazilian. What do you expect to see from Ducati overall? Lewis is on record saying Mark could take it, so it might be a Ducati. Ducati has a good shot. Now, obviously, we're not saying weather. We know weather plays a part in it and all that. So outside, let's take out the weather. Let's just rain is stopped. The track is dry. It's not raining cats and dogs, and there's no puddle. They might have to run rain tires, but it's not crazy. How does Ducati look overall? Is this a track where they try to start a new streak since they lost their 88 podium streak that they had going? What are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is where they need to step it up. You know, I mean, Mark will start the streak. Um, Cross our fingers that Pecco can get himself up there in at least top five. And as far as Aldeguer, I know he's hurt, but I think he's coming back. And Morbidelli, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Aprilia is on the A game, and I'm sure they don't want to fall off just because it's a new track. And
Right.
I think Ducati is just gonna have to rely on Mark to set the trend, and hopefully the rest can follow. But I don't know. I think Mark will find his way because he's the smartest out there. I think, and he knows all types of situations. So he'll find a way to finesse something to get himself up front, as long as he can stay up. So
I mean,
I think
Morbidelli, I'm looking now. Well, Morbidelli finished 14th in the sprint, and let me get this right. 8th in the GP race, so it wasn't too bad. Digia finished 6th, so I mean, Digia was the first Ducati in the top 6 there in the race in Thailand. So I mean, do you see? I mean, they're looking better than Grassini and the factory boys at this point.
it's the first race. So everyone's figuring it out. I think the factory will get the advantage at the end of the day. So we'll see. I hope so. I hope that I want to see them up there. Because new faces in the front is always good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the factory will have it.
All right, no doubt there. Lewis, man, what are your thoughts on that, man? I think the VR46 has a good shot since they got a better record than Grassini and the factory boys right now. What are your thoughts?
You know what I say about the hometown half a second, man. When you're in front of your fans, when you're in front of your people, you always find that half a second. So I think whatever issues Franco might have had in Thailand, or the first round Thailand, yeah, I think that they will work around those. I think he's going to have a really good weekend because, again, when you're in front of your home crowd, you really want to perform well. With Frankie, though, that could be a double-edged sword because when Frankie tends to push, he tends to cost the team a lot of parts. But if he can keep his head straight, because remember last year in Argentina, he had a good weekend in Argentina.
Yeah.
So if he can kind of replicate what he did last year in Argentina, this year in Brazil, that'll be great for him because he did, he got outperformed by DeJan Antonio, and both of those guys are guys that are riding for work right now. They're both looking for contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And, how you perform is going to be a big part of what goes forward. I know there's also some politics behind there and some alliances. I'm sure that Frankie would prefer to stay in MotoGP than grow the World Superbike. So, from here on out, every single round for both of these guys is super important. Like not just winning the race or trying to get on the podium, but outworking your compatriot in the garage next to you.
Right. No, listen, man, it's gonna be interesting to see, man. Reese, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show, man. It seems like you know how to. You're coming at the right time when we're talking about Ducati.
Oh boy.
I don't know what's going on there. What are your thoughts, man? I gotta set the camera up too and do all that fun stuff, but we're professionals. We make it happen. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show, man.
How you doing, man? I hear you over here talking about Ducati, man, but what I came in and heard and what I hear, Lewis is right, so is TJ. Everybody is correct. Your hometown race has a big factor on it.
Right.
That extra push, the momentum. But I honestly think that Ducati is the factory boy is gonna be up there. I think the factory boy is gonna be up there. I think he may have a shot depending on how bad depending on how his injury still heals and coming
Right.
along. And I also think, the Grassini team is going to be there. I think I think they're going to be there. I think, Alligator, maybe, if is depending on how at 100%, if he is, depending on where he's at. So, but I'm still going with the champ, unfortunately.
I mean, we talked about. I know we talked about Ducati, but I think people are going to start commenting at this point if we don't talk about the Honda kid there, Diego. He's also from Brazil, and so is he going to steal a little bit of the thunder from Morbidelli? He got something. He got a good. What we giving them, like, a couple of points, half a
I
second.
I am going to give him a couple points. I am going to definitely give him that. I mean, he is one of the hometown guys. Um, I definitely would say he'll be up there in probably like the top 15.
Okay,
You know, I'll give him the top 15. He did surprise me the last round, very surprisingly for what he has done for a rookie.
right.
Um, and I think give him a couple more times. I think he can be very dangerous and very, not as an Acosta was coming in his rookie year, but somebody that we can, kind of get behind on what he's doing.
I was going to say he is a Costa-esque because, remember the great Maverick Vinales said Diego could have won it in Moto 3 when he first came in. But the Costa was there. So it was destined for Costa. But to look what he did in Moto 2, Diego getting it in his second year in Moto 2 is very impressive, even though he didn't get a Moto 3 win. He did get that Moto 2 win.
He did, and I mean it's you can be in a constant nest, but and do very well in Moto 3 and Moto 2. But everybody knows coming into the big boy stage, into the GP, it's a whole different ball game and a different realm. I mean, everything kind of comes up on you very, very quickly at 200 plus.
Yeah. Okay. So if by the fifth round, and we'll bring everyone in, but by the fifth round, if Diego is finishing in the top 8, then we'll have a little bit more to say. I'll bring all the guys, and feel free to chime in, TJ, and go around. What are your thoughts on Diego, and is he going to finish better than top 15 this weekend?
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't brought him up yet. But this is his home track, and like Lewis said, I'm sure he's going to have an extra half a second on top of his learning skills and his thirst to learn and push as hard as he can because he knows he's good. But yeah, I think he'll do well by fifth round if he's like averaging like top 12 or 8. I think he'll become a solid rider. I mean, he will become a solid rider, but like Reese was saying, the way Pedro Acosta came in, he came in surprising all of us. And then his second year was kind of like his learning curve. So like,
right,
it's this fine line where I like the way Diego came in his first race. So we'll see how he turns out at his home Grand Prix. I mean, I don't even know how often he drives there. So
right.
maybe he has an advantage of knowing the track and the layout and probably help him a little bit. So.
Yeah, and I agree. What are your thoughts, Lewis, man, on Diego? And is he getting the right amount of energy? Should he be getting more energy? I mean, the guy is a Moto2 world champion.
Yeah, he's a Moto2 world champion, but he's also, Honda is a different animal than anything he rode in Moto2. But the fact that he's doing as well as he's doing in the short period of time that he's been on the Honda goes to show, one, the kid's got skill. Two, the Honda is coming a long way, man. The Honda is going in the right direction, because in the past, it used to be like you used to sacrifice new riders to the Honda.
Yeah.
You get on a Honda, oh man, it was nice knowing you, man.
Redden,
I'll see you. So I want to introduce you to the guys that work the ambulance, because you're going to be seeing them a lot this year. And these guys are the guys that work the crash truck. You're going to be seeing those a lot. And now the Honda's actually pretty good. Like, it seems like whatever they're doing, like, guys aren't in the kitty litter as much as they used to be. So they're definitely going the right way. And he's benefiting from this. He's on a Honda that is a little bit more manageable, a little bit better at handling, a little bit more stable. I think they still have a couple of places they can tweak, because if you look at the bike, it's still a little sketchy under braking. It's still got a couple of pieces here and there. But overall, like, the guys tend to finish a little bit more often now, whereas if you look at when Marini and Mir were first on the bike, I mean, that was yard sale every other weekend, both bikes. Most of the guys weren't finishing. Honda was showing up with 2 trucks, one with the bikes and one with the bodywork. And now, they're actually getting through the weekend with less bodywork repairs.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's going to benefit from this, and he's going to be rookie of the year. I know some people don't want to hear that. It's very early in the season, but he is going to be rookie of the year.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, Top Rocket's gonna have to be the number one Yamaha to beat Diego at this point. But let's talk about the other Honda guys. What do you think we're gonna? What do you expect to see from? When we'll start with Reese. From Marini, not Marini. Yeah, Luca Marini and Zarco, and also Mir. I mean, I feel bad for Zarco because I feel like I can beat Mir and Luca. I was doing it in Moto 2. Just give me the package, man. Give me the package, and I'll do it. And he was doing it last year. He's the Honda that was on the podium first and got a win. So, what about these guys, man? What do you expect to see? Kind of the same thing as Thailand, which, overall is decent. I mean, outside of the mechanical for Mir. What are you thinking, Reese?
I mean, I kind of expect to see the same thing as Thailand. No reason I say that is because no one really has data at this track. It's kind of like a new track. Everyone's going to kind of fresh in. Mm-hmm. The only data that they're going to get really kind of coming in is what they kind of get the feel for testing or in qualifying and practice. That's going to be their best feel for it because no one really has any kind of previous data on the track. You don't know what the weather's going to be like. If it's going to, it could change any moment. It could change here. From what it looks like, it does look like it's going to be a clear. When I looked this morning, it does like it's going to be a clear weekend for them. So I just see them kind of going at the same pace, at the same round, just at the same thing as they were in Thailand, to see where Zarco and everyone else is. I think they're going to be in the same kind of that same mid pack area.
Right. All right, TJ, man, what are your thoughts, man? I mean, I like Honda. I've had one Honda. What are your thoughts, man? Mir and I mean, with the contracts and all that, I assume these guys it's kind of in their mind. What are you thinking? Do you feel like what Reese is saying, like they kind of no data, so they'll build similar, or the Honda maybe these guys have enough to also try to steal one? If Yamaha can steal one, maybe Honda can steal one of the factory guys.
I think they definitely have a chance. I know Mir is definitely thirsty to finally get back top 5 or get where he belonged after his last 2 crashing seasons, pretty much the whole year. So they're definitely going in the right direction. I definitely feel that Mir will probably surprise them all. Hopefully Zarco will step up eventually. When he does, then you kind of got to pay attention to him. Getting closer to his home Grand Prix, but Luca Marini, I'm just still waiting to see him step up a little bit more. I know he's been doing really well, but I think Mir probably had a better chance, I would say, this round if it was out of all of them.
All right, man. Luca did finish top 10, man. So
yeah, he did. No, I mean Luca's doing good. Good. Yeah. I want to see him do better. That's it.
Some people might say it's not a Yamaha.
Well, there's a rumor going around that I heard kicking around a couple of places that Mir is in discussion to maybe take Alex Marquez's spot at Ducati if Alex Marquez does make the switch to KTM. So again, the rumor mill is always spinning, but if that happens, now Marini becomes the number 1 rider at Honda,
right?
And he's going to need somebody sitting next to him. And they got this young, fast kid that they can slide in next to him, and then they can give that extra seat to another rider.
Yeah, but what do you think about, I mean, Mir is feeling good on that Honda, man. I mean, we see that we don't know what the 26 Ducati is going to be like, and if he would, well, he might get a 27. Well, he'll get a 27.
No, in 27, everybody has to get a 27 because it has to be on
850.
So I guess all right, that's fair enough. I mean, it's fair enough. Okay, I can see that. But what do you expect to see from Luca and Mir this weekend, Lewis?
I mean, I hope to see them in the top 10, both of them. I think Mir showed a lot of good riding at the first round. He had some solid results. I know he had some issues as well, but he had some solid results. And I think again, the Honda package is a more competitive package than anybody thought. It's still not at the level of the Ducati or the Aprilia, but I think it's really starting to get close with the KTM. Because if you look at where all the KTMs were and where the Hondas were, like, I almost feel like the Hondas were one step in front of the KTMs for the most part.
I agree.
And if that's the case, then, Honda now can kind of consider themselves the third best manufacturer on the grid. And if you really want to consider yourself the third best manufacturer on the grid, your guys need to finish in the top 10.
No, I agree. I mean, more than one of you guys.
Yeah, more than just one.
And we had a couple of KTMs in the top 10, top 8. With Ben to finish in 7. Let's move over to we'll leave. Let's talk about Aprilia. I mean, because in theory, after the first round, these guys might be they might be the Fab Four. What are your thoughts, Reese, on Aprilia, man?
I mean, the way Aprilia is going, I mean, they're wanting to take the top step. I mean, they're actually pushing forward. They've come a long way. They kind of built off of their success from last year, and they just kept moving forward. So I think this year and coming here in Brazil, I think they can actually take it. I think they can actually get the win over the Ducati guys. I think they have they still have the best chance out of everybody on the grid to compete with the Ducati. And I think all 4 can actually be top 10. I think all 4 can be top 10.
They were top 5.
So that gives you an example right there. I mean, the only reason I say top 10, again, here we go again, it's the same story, same song and dance. It's just what data do we have here?
Right.
That's for me, as coming from a crew guy and seeing data all the time, that's the biggest factor, saying what do we have here? So we're kind of going in blind.
Right. TJ, man, Aprilia, I'm a fan of them. I've owned one of those as well. I mean, Ayagura, Fernandez, Martin, they all, I mean, Ayagura is a second year. Fernandez, he's having his second coming. Martin, all these injuries, and these guys are top 5. I mean, is it something you feel like they can carry the whole season, or it may come apart just because there's no data in Brazil?
No, I kind of like it. I think they can carry this on, and I think they can put their foot down and open people's eyes and have people worried or teams worried. Push a little panic button almost, where to see what we have to do to finally catch up to Aprilia. Just hoping that Ayagura can stay healthy and in contention with all the riders. I know he always do good in the first couple races. Raul Fernandez has been looking amazing, especially the end of last year into this year. And Jorge Martin said he's always never lost a step. He was just injured.
Right.
And now hopefully he gets his speed back. And,
right.
Bezzecchi's on his A game. So
if only he injured his tongue last year, he'd have been all right.
I know. So I think they probably have the best chance, but we, like you said, we have no data. It's going to be crazy because I think a lot of people are going to be following each other, and someone's going to bite. Whoever's in front. It's kind of going to be like the reference, basically,
right. No,
on important turns. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, no doubt. It sounds like Reese and you have Bezzecchi as number 1, but we'll see. We'll pick our top 3 before the show. And Lewis, man, what are your thoughts on Aprilia? And also, if these guys finish top 6, does Aprilia lock up or Trackhouse lock up Martin, Ayagura, and Fernandez for 27 and 28?
I think Agura, yes. Fernandez, I think, is on the bubble. That's another guy that I've heard some rumors that somebody might be taking his seat. And if somebody takes his seat, maybe he goes to KTM because there's going to be some empty seats at KTM. So that's still in the air.
Mm-hmm.
He's another guy that just needs to keep his head down and just keep performing week in and week out and try to save that seat if he can, because the last thing you want to do is go from an Aprilia, which looks like a strong package, to a KTM.
Right.
Like that's a serious downgrade. And we saw the kid win last year, and I don't think he's gotten any slower. So, he needs to just keep his head down and keep riding the wheels off that thing. And then on the factory side of things, Martin had a good weekend. I still think Bezzecchi is the number one rider at Aprilia. I think Aprilia is all in on Bezzecchi. If you look, they put out a social media thing where they gifted him an ape because he really liked the ape.
Yeah.
And, so when a company is doing that for you, you're their guy. And it's almost like, I know they're not doing it on purpose, but maybe it's me because I'm mad petty. That's the kind of shit that I would do with my number one guy after Martin did what he did to them.
Right.
Like I would do that on social media just to be like.
Well, I think, I think if Martin wasn't injured last year and it went different, and again, if he injured his mouth and didn't say one word, I think he would be getting the same love. But with that said, no one expected. I mean, I expected a lot from Bez last year, but I don't know if they went in like expecting much. And for them to give, they went from possibly losing money to probably made some money for what Bezzecchi did last year.
Well, no, for sure. What Bezzecchi did really saved the team, saved the brand. If you really think about it, imagine, you come into the season with 4 guys. One of the guys is the reigning world champion. The reigning world champion gets hurt. And now you got this other guy that came from a satellite team that had kind of like mixed results. He was a good rider, but never had steady podium results, never. And then you had 2 rookies on your satellite bikes that had 0.000%. You got rid of all your veterans. And even for the time you had your veterans, you had Asparagus and all these other guys, I think 3 wins in 5 years is what Asparagus had.
Yeah.
So, you're hoping for the best by getting this reigning world champion, and then he gets hurt 18 times before the season starts, never rides the bike, really, and you're leaning on this number 2 guy that you're hoping can at least maybe get a couple of podiums, and all of a sudden he becomes one of the most feared riders in MotoGP. Like, how'd that happen?
Right.
And he pulled him out of the quicksand. Like he pulled them out of the quicksand. They were in quicksand. They were like 1979
in quicksand, and TMZ was talking about them.
Yeah. In quicksand, 1979, every show, worst thing that can happen to a kid, you get stuck in quicksand. They were in that quicksand.
Yeah. No doubt. And
why they let him marry his bike.
Yeah. That's why they let him marry his bike. Keep his bike, gave him an ape, signed him to a contract at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Like they rolled out the red carpet for him because he really did pull them out of a dark area.
And let me ask this, guys. Can Martin repair his contract, repair the relationship enough to stay with a pro year beyond this year? He has to win another title. He has to win 10, 20, get pole position, or like what kind of stats he need to stay with a pro year? I'm gonna start with
quiet.
I know. I was like there's nothing.
Nothing. You want me to answer that one?
Go ahead. What happens? What happens when? Go ahead.
What happened was.
I mean, as a crew guy, once a rider starts talking, bad about the team, bad about the bike, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth as a crew guy. Because as members or crew guys, we're not just showing up just to give you a bike. We're showing up because we want to win as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? We want to win as well. We want to put the team on our back. Our jobs are on the line, stuff like that. And, just like you, we're traveling all over the world, traveling all over the place, and we want to we're up late nights trying to either repair a bike or get the bike ready for you for the next morning, minimum sleep. So we want to win as well, So when you start talking bad about the team or bad about this and bad, it puts a sour taste in your mouth, and it's really, really, really tough to repair that relationship. There's riders in our paddock that have felt that.
Right. All right, so that sounds like no repair right there.
Hey, if your girl cheats on you, do you really take her back, man?
We'll go with TJ. Some people do. That.
Simps. They're called simps.
Okay. So
I mean,
okay. We'll get to Lord, and then we'll talk about some events that's happened this past week. Go ahead, Matt.
no, I was gonna say he definitely left a sour taste in the team's mouth because the way he tried to extend his contract and through the fine lines and all that stuff. But I think there's a possible way out. I mean, their team's doing really well right now, so he's just gonna have to shut up. He's gonna have to win, or at least be top 5, top 10. Let the talent in his riding do the talking. And when something goes wrong, like if like a chain falls off or something, like it happened to Maverick or whatever, to see how he reacts and not react like like Elise, or someone going crazy over an issue. So,
All right.
but I think there's a way out. But he's been in the cage for a while. So,
yeah. All right, no doubt. All right, Lewis, man, listen, man. If Martin wins 15 out of the 22 sprint races, give us 6 wins in the GP races, buy all the crew member Rolexes, a couple of cars for some people. I mean, you're telling me you're not gonna be like, all right, man, we'll give up half his salary, nothing, huh?
So listen, after all that, I see him on a Honda.
So it's the game is for real, right?
Yeah, the game is for real. The paddock is a very small place, and the MotoGP paddock is like any other paddock in the world, except it's on TV, it's on pay-per-view, and they make millions of dollars. But it's still personalities, it's still people, it's still mechanics, it's still teams. And if a rider does the wrong thing, like right now, Ducati just fired one of their mechanics.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Literally because he didn't show up on time.
Yep.
And they were like, no, everybody else shows up on time. If you don't have the dedication to show up on time, you're fired. We're that serious about this kind of dedication. And that's a mechanic. Why should a rider be any different? A rider as a brand, as Piaggio, as Aprilia, this rider, I feel, damaged their reputation in a way that nobody else has ever damaged their reputation. He was unprofessional in the way he went about it. He took it to the media. It was very public. All these things really do damage a brand, and nothing is more important than the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is more important than your Piaggio logo, than your Aprilia logo. Like, that's your brand. That's your recognition. That's how you're known. When somebody comes along and puts a black eye on your brand, trust me, man, you never forget that.
Okay. All right. So is safe to say that Martin knows this, so he knows he's moving on. Based on what you guys are saying, there's no repair and Acosta's relationship with KTM either, because he gave the ball.
I was gonna say,
right?
He gave the bite the finger.
So these guys are moving. I mean, like
mid race,
right? I mean,
right.
Go ahead.
It's literally, you don't air out your dirty laundry in your own house. You just kind of keep whatever it is in-house and keep it to your own clique and crew. I mean, like Lewis said, you don't air it out in public. You don't air it out on social media and the media and the press. You just kind of keep it to yourself.
And we have, I'm going to be honest, we have mouth breathers out there, fans. They're like, oh, that's emotion. Riders need to show emotion. when you're paying the bills, you can show all the emotions you want. When I'm paying your ass to be on my bike, if my bike explodes under you, you better burn with that bike. Okay? Because that's what I'm paying you. To be on that bike, and whether the bike sucks, the bike is the best bike in the world. Every time you get on and off the bike, I want to see a smile on your face. As soon as you start giving my bike the finger, as soon as you start disrespecting my mechanics, as soon as you start doing anything detrimental to my brand, you're the problem.
Man, listen, you got me wanting to go watch Enzo Ferrari movie right now.
You know how it is.
Who's up next?
Oh, you don't like the car? Next.
That's what it is. That's
I think
exactly what it is.
There's only one guy that ever went up against Ferrari and actually won.
Wow.
Because he made Ferrari a winning car.
Yeah.
You know, he complained about the car and he showed them how to make the car better. And he's a lifelong Ferrari guy. To this guy, he's still considered one of the greatest Ferrari riders of all time.
There you have it, man. Listen, it's tough business. So let's talk about KTM a little bit before we jump in a little bit of Motor America stuff and get out of here. You know, Acosta looked pretty good. He got his win. Got win by race direction. Most people don't like that, you know, but you know, a win is a win. It was a sprint win, and again, these guys don't really count the sprint as wins. So he finished in the GP. So in his mind, he still hasn't won a race. It's possible he could steal one here as well. How much of not winning a GP race yet is in the back of Costa's mind when you see guys like Furman coming in there and doing stuff? You see guys like Fernandez coming in and doing stuff. You see Ayagura now coming in, and Diego is looking like he may have some speed. How much of not winning a race yet, and you're supposed to be the next of the names that, you know, bikes are named after and tracks are named after and stuff like that? What are your thoughts, TJ? How much is it a big deal for Acosta to not win, and is it in the back of his head?
Oh, it's a big deal. It's a big deal because in his eyes, he's a winner. He has the talent. He know he can do it. You don't want to point fingers saying it's the bike, you know, because I can ride good, but he's just not seeing the results, and I'm sure it's just eating him alive. Like you said, seeing Furman get a win, and then all these other riders get a win before him when he's, you know, got over a year under his belt. But yeah, I think if he was inspired, I think he wants it bad. So definitely think he's gonna be after. I think he's not gonna give in after seeing him go into turn. What is that? The last turn with Marquez and stuff. So
yeah. Okay, Reese, is it different with riders like Acosta? I mean, we all want to win, right? You said it. We've said it many times. We all get up and go to the paddock and go racing or go play basketball, whether it's pickup or whatever. No one's just sitting here saying, "I'm here for the exercise." You know, you know, like what? You know, these guys is it's eating them a little bit more the losses than the win.
Oh yeah, of course. It's definitely eating at them. I mean, the guys that train hard, that really put the work in, you know, they want to win. They're not here just to you know, they're sacrificing time, you know, their energy and a lot of stuff. So they want to win. And you know, like, you know, it was the same way with me. Like, you know, when you go into a game, I'm like, listen, I've been out here 6 hours and you've been here too. I want to win. I don't want to lose. You know, so yeah, it's eating at him. You know, not to have that win yet, not to have that as you call it, the monkey off your back. You know, once you get that first one, you know, it's almost like a trickle effect. You know, the next one can come, the next one, but it's always just getting that first one. Right. The sprint race, does it count? Yes, no, but to get it in that sense of fashion, like I still want to win, beat you straight up. I want to beat it heads up.
Okay, all right, no doubt. Man, Lewis, what are your thoughts, man, on Acosta there? You know, is it, you know, what are your thoughts?
His W is coming. His W is definitely coming. It's just a matter of time. The guy's got the talent. The KTM, at least his KTM and the way he rides it, is working really well. I don't know when it's coming because, again, the KTM is one of those bikes that on certain tracks, it just seems to perform better than other tracks. But his day is definitely coming. There's no chance that he's not going to go. At some point this season, he'll be on the top step. Right. Barring injury, barring something like that, like at some point this season, because we saw how competitive he was this past weekend. This is a new track. Everybody's starting with zero. He's had some success at Coda in multiple classes. And then when you go to Europe, he's got the Red Bull Ring, which is a great track for the KTM and all these other places. So his day is coming. He just needs to be patient. He's still got to win, even though he got a win by committee. It's still a win. You still get to cash the winning check, and you still get the first place trophy. But he'll get what he'll feel is his legit win, battling heads up at some point. Right. And if at some point he gets a win, in a similar circumstance, it's still a win, man. Because anytime you win, whether it's by committee or if somebody has a mechanical or somebody crashes on the last lap, you have to finish the race to win. And if you don't finish the race, then the guy in second wins, then that's a win. That's how winning works.
That's how it works. I mean, you mentioned patience. Some of the other guys mentioned patience as well. Is this his adversity that he just doesn't realize he has to go through? Or, I mean, is there people I showed there's people around him telling them, because we saw it with Bastianini, we saw it with Vinales, we saw it with Ayagura, we seen it with Fernandez, even though Fernandez was different. Everyone has to go through this adversity where this guy at 16, he's like Alcaraz or the soccer player there, I forget his name, the young kid, where they just been winning so much. Now that when they have a little struggle, you see them kind of implode in public.
You can't always be the biggest fish, man. There's always a bigger fish, and on some weekends you'll be that bigger fish. And it's true. He came through Moto 2, and I mean, he more or less dominated Moto 2. He cleaned up, and then he got to MotoGP, and he hasn't been on the greatest package. It's not like his skill has diminished. He just needs to be patient. And I think once he leaves KTM, goes to a more competitive package with another company, you'll see even more wins coming. But even if he gets only 1 or 2 wins on a KTM this year, and he finishes out his KTM career this year, it's not like the guy couldn't win before. You're always limited by the tools you have.
No doubt. I think we got to pick our top 3. But Reese, man, sounds like you had some troubles, man. You want to tell us about it? You had some vehicle issues.
Truck broke down on the way to Coda, man. Is it the diesel price? You guys got to buy that diesel. It's expensive.
It's a little truck issues, man. That's all. It's all good. It's all good.
You're still smiling, man. So listen, I don't know if you were stranded, but I've had vehicle issues, and I've said it a few times in DC, and it's no fun being broken down on the road, man.
Nah, I mean, it's no fun. I mean, truck had little issues, but hey, we got it there. We did the testing, and we were good. We were okay. Bobby finished second in the last. Bobby came out P2, and JD came out P5. So,
there you go. Ready for Road Atlanta?
That's it.
All right, man.
Last testing before the season.
I'm gonna be there, man. Looking forward to it. All right, let's go, guys. Before we get out of here, I think I gotta. Do I have it? Can I show it? You guys need to see the leaderboard again. Just to remind people.
Yeah, you can show that leaderboard.
Whatever.
I gotta appreciate it, man, because a win is a win, and I might not get any more. So,
hey, at least I'm in second. That's all that matters.
Gotta bask in it. What are you guys thinking this time, man? Who you going with? Who needs time? Just feel free to speak. If not, I'll go around and call. What do you got, TJ?
Yeah. Always on the hot seat. Let's go. I'm definitely gonna say Mark.
All right.
Bezecchi.
Okay.
And feel like Capri is gonna be on the A game, so I'm gonna say Raul.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Getting some diversity. What do you got, Iris?
I got Bezecchi, I got Mark, and I got Acosta.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. I like it. I like it. Lewis.
For the sprint, I got the same. I got Bezecchi, Mark, and third place. You know what? I'm gonna go with Alex Marquez because he had a bad weekend in Thailand. Hopefully, he bounces back.
All right. All right.
And then for the actual GP, I got Mark, Bez, and I'm gonna pull I shouldn't, but I'm gonna say Martine.
All right. Okay. That's what's up. I guess top three because
Top three. Yeah.
I guess thanks for making a little clarifying sprint and main race. You guys, are you picking the same riders for both sprint and main race, or do you want to break it up like Lewis did?
I'm gonna switch Acosta to Alex in the sprint.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'll probably switch. Not that I want to follow suit, but I think Acosta in the sprint instead of Raul. I feel like
Okay. All right.
I keep my top two.
All right, that's good. I'm going with Bez. Yeah, that one's gonna be tricky. I'm gonna put Morbidelli in there. Don't go wrong. And it's a good lineup. I like all of Aprilia guys. So it's just who's gonna have the better luck. And you know what? I don't know if I should do that. All right, I got Bez. I got who did I say? I got Morbidelli, and I'll go with Acosta. All right, I'll go to Acosta on the thing. I want to say Pecco, but we'll I got Morbidelli, so.
Might be his time.
It might be his time, man. Less than a half a second, Morbidelli might get on the podium. So, but I again, it's like you guys have said all night, it's a new track and no data, so it's really anybody's game. And some of these other riders can definitely steal one. But Acosta and Bez look really good. Obviously, if Marquez doesn't have any issue, he's a sure win. Alex, I don't know what's going on this year. He didn't look well enough to sit here and say he should be up there yet. It wouldn't be fair to Fernandez and Ayaguro to put Alex in front of them at the moment. And they all, to me, are kind of around the same pace.
Well, also this weekend, Furman Aldeguer comes back, but I want to wait and see how he's recovering from his injury before I start putting him up there again.
Mm-hmm.
But if he looks good this weekend, then expect me to put him pretty high up at Coda.
Right. Yeah. He looked good last year.
Yeah, he's looking strong.
Did he crash out last year
at Coda?
He was doing crash out. I don't remember.
I think he crashed out in one of the two races. I don't know if it was the sprint or the actual race at Coda. He crashed out, but he finished the year super strong once he got adapted to the Ducati, and I think he's going to be the number one rider at Gresini next year for sure.
Yeah. No, I like we've been saying so far, the Hondas, the KTM, the Ducatis, and the Aprilia as well. Ducati got to figure that out because they weren't on the podium. But it's going to be interesting to see what. Well, one, if the weather holds up and there's going to be a race. So if there's a race, if it's wet race, then the guys that are pretty good with the wet conditions will probably be up front, and then it's anybody's game. But if it's nice, pristine conditions, then it's going to be interesting.
That'd be a Jack Miller that'd be up there in the wet.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you got Jack Miller, you got Zarco, you got Marquez, you got Quartararo. I mean, there's a list of guys that are really, really good in the rain.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if the great equalizer steps in and is pure throttle talent and bike feel. Then we'll see how the race pans out. It might get real interesting. You might see some rookies. You might see some young guys that you didn't expect. You might see like an Algura pull something special out of his hat.
Oh yeah.
I hate the rain, but I love the rain because it just throws like just everything out the window, man.
Yeah. So it shows a different level of riding, no doubt. Man, I want to thank everyone for coming on. My name is Rex45. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. I want to thank TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee, Reese from Attack Performance Yamaha. Get what you guys use, AAA. You got, might have to get them as a sponsor. I got you.
Why do you think Progressive's on there?
Okay, say less. Shout out to the real Louis Matega, the numbers guy. Peace.
Peace.